How's it going, guys? Welcome back to GVN, and it's been roughly 10 years since the last Conker game, and that was Conker Live and Reloaded on the Xbox original. And for the longest time, it seemed like Conker was just a forgotten squirrel that just wasn't going to get a sequel ever again. With the purchase of Rare only releasing just Kinect game most recently, it seemed like Conker would be all long and forgotten. But that all changed at E3 2014, when we got our first look at not the sequel, but a DLC pack for Project Spark that featured Conker the Squirrel, his first appearance in basically 10 years. Now it's April 2015, and Conker is back in Conker's Big Reunion, the new DLC pack for Project Spark on Xbox One. Conker's Big Reunion is a DLC pack for Project Spark that takes roughly 10 years after the events of Conker's Bad Fur Day. We find Conker naked in his usual spot, loving money, loving beer and alcohol, and he's drunk once again. And we find Birdie, who pretty much looks the same as always. Birdie informs Conker of a big reunion taking place at the Cock and Plunker, the big pub that Conker loves visiting, but sadly he can't go to the reunion because he owes the pub $300. Luckily for Conker, he finds a stack of money just in the middle of the ground. He picks it up, but suddenly teddies attack him and steal all his money. Now it's up to Conker to go after the teddies, get his $300 back, and go to that reunion, setting up the premise for Conker's Big Reunion DLC pack. Before we dig deeper into this review, I'd like to clarify that Conker's Big Reunion isn't Conker's Bad Fur Day 2 or Others Bad Fur Day. This is a DLC pack for Project Spark, and I went in expecting that, not, my child dreams to be fulfilled in this 30-minute DLC pack as a sequel to the awesome N64 game. So I went in expecting this to be a DLC pack for Project Spark and not a sequel to Conker's Bad Fur Day. In terms of visual and audio aesthetics, Conker's Big Reunion hits right at home in terms of nostalgia. All the original voice actors are back for Conker and Birdie, all the sound effects are back from the N64 and even the Xbox original game, and it feels very much like a Conker game. It's amazing, it really hits at home in terms of like my childhood memories of playing Conker's Bad Fur Day on the N64. Overall, Conker's Big Reunion is a great nostalgia trip, but it pretty much ends there in terms of fun. The game isn't going to win any awards for its technical aspects. Conker's Big Reunion has a lot of limitations that come with it being built upon Project Spark. Even despite being built by Microsoft themselves and all the money they have, bringing in all the original voice actors and everything, all the new creation tools with Conker, the game still feels like it was built by a fan in the Unity engine. There's a lot of things wrong technically with Conker's Big Reunion. Even though the game is set to hit at 30 frames per second constantly, it drops frequently down to 20 frames in the weirdest of situations. I could be running through the grass meadows, nothing really happening, and it still drops in frame rate for some reason. And it's probably mostly the fact that the game is just built within Project Spark. Camera controls are often an issue for me just trying to platform, and platforming itself, the controls feel really wonky just trying to jump from log to log or different platforms throughout the game itself. It just feels really, not polished. In one specific instance, there's a part where you're fighting a boss and he's shooting a laser at you, and because of Conker's slow running animation start and ending, it's really hard to dodge his laser. I'm trying to duck behind different obstacles, and every time I start a run, it slows down Conker, and it just gets me hurt, and it's really annoying. I guess in a sense, the technical aspect is also very nostalgic because it feels like I'm playing an N64 game on my Xbox One, and that's not a great thing. Despite all the technical drawbacks that comes with the DLC, Conker's Big Reunion was a lot of fun for me. I enjoyed the writing and hearing Conker's voice once again. There's a lot of pop culture references in this game as well. There's a reference to Super Mario Brothers, and Metal Gear Solid has its own level dedicated to it. And there's even a couple of instances where Conker breaks the fourth wall, and I couldn't stop laughing at those. I really love the writing in this game. At the end of my playthrough with this DLC, I sort of took a step back and tried to think what I was expecting and what I felt after playing this game. And overall, I wouldn't say it was a disappointment because I didn't go in expecting this to be Conker's Bad Fur Day 2. It was just a DLC pack for Project Spark, sort of something to hit me in the nostalgia and, have a little fun. And in that instance, it's exactly what it was, and it delivered. Despite its technical drawbacks, the game was still fun to me, even through all the challenges of trying to play the platforming levels, and it was all worth it basically to hear Conker speak once again. And for that, I really enjoyed the game. Conker's Big Reunion isn't the Conker's Bad Fur Day sequel you've always wanted, and I think you should expect that by now because, as you all heard, if you're not going to make a sequel, guess you'll have to make your own. Overall, for that $5 price tag, if you're a fan of the Conker series and you have been wanting a sequel and any little taste of Conker will satisfy your taste buds for now, then go ahead and pick this up. I enjoyed myself. The game was only about like 35 to 45 minutes, and overall I had some fun with it. I was happy I spent $5 on it, and I highly recommend it if you're a fan of the Conker series. And as a side note, in addition to that $5 DLC, there's also an option to pay $10 and you'll get all the creation tools to basically create your own Conker levels. So you can actually see a bunch of awesome community levels right now. Some people have recreated the Great Mighty Pooh level and even a recreation of the very first level from Conker's Bad Fur Day. And they're pretty awesome. So thank you all very much for watching my review of Conker's Big Reunion. If you guys enjoyed it, give it a like and share it with your friends on whatever social networks you guys are on. If you guys want to keep up to date with me off of YouTube, feel free to follow me on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. All that stuff is in the description below, along with my gaming username, so if you want to play Xbox One, PS4, Wii U with me, feel free to do so. All that information is in the description below. Once again, thank you all very much for watching my review, and if this ends up being my last video on YouTube for the next 10 years, guess you'll just have to make your own.